Don't worry, I'll ask you a question to get you started. All right, we are now joined by the driver of the number 19 Oakmont Management Group Ford, Daniel Hemric, who finished third in today's Toyota Tundra 250. Daniel, why don't you go ahead and talk about what you saw there on the last lap?
Yeah, it got pretty exciting there. Obviously, all you hope for at the end of a deal like this, especially as many cautions we had in the race, is to have an opportunity. And all my guys at BKR gave me that shot. We had a good enough Ford F-150 to keep ourselves up front, and when we got put back in traffic, we could still drive back to the front. Just unfortunate we couldn't capitalize there. I tried to do everything I could to get the outside of the 9. He did everything he could to keep me behind, and ultimately it gave him a surge to get out front. So congratulations to him, and man, I'm telling you, we're close. We're building on it. We're getting better every week. Just a matter of capitalizing and getting these guys in victory lane.
Awesome. We're now going to open it up to questions for Daniel. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll bring the mic to you. State your name and affiliation. Go ahead, Kenny.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Daniel, can you kind of take us through what happened on that final restart there?
I'm going to have to go back and watch it myself. All I know, I was trying to do everything I could to get my guys in victory lane. It just didn't shake out. And the way these trucks are, as soon as you get side by side, everybody stalls out. If you're single truck behind you get such a big run, and that's just the equal of what we're doing here. We try to all put ourselves in position to win the race, and when everybody starts fanning out like that, you're just along for the ride and hope your road moves when it needs to, and you can clear a guy when you need to. Fortunately, we were able to clear those guys. I'm not sure what we were, 3, 4, 5 wide. They're getting in the 3 of the last lap, but I'm just fortunate to come out of the thing with a top 3 finish and hopefully build on it, go to Dover.
We are also joined by our second place finisher in today's Toyota Tundra 250, the driver of the number 88 IdealDoor Menards Toyota, Matt Crafton. Matt, why don't you just take us through that final lap and the restart for you too?
It was very interesting. Just like, wow, I'm kind of watching it right here. Wow. I'd say, not good.
That's huge.
He smoked her down in there, didn't he?
Yeah. How about that? Not clear.
Yeah. It was just like on the restart, it was the front row. If the second guy or the second row pushed the leader, the second place guy, they would get such huge runs. That's why I ended up losing the lead and got the 17 got in my left rear just because the 9 pushed the 17 out in the lead. And then I'm like, okay, we'll be all right. We'll drive back by him here in a minute. And then we got hit. And then that last restart was just chaos. I shoved it 3 wide in the middle, and I'm like, yeah, this probably isn't the way to go. And so I lifted just a little bit and got it back to the bottom and got a decent run. But the bottom had been terrible early all night, and I got a decent run because everybody kind of got loose and checked up and went up in front of him, thankfully for me.
I appreciate it.
All right, we'll start down here.
Sean Roney, Dos Mundos newspaper here in Kansas City for both of you. Do you remember the last time that you've been in a race where that it goes under caution within the first lap like it did tonight when Rico Abreu, when his truck ate the wall?
There's a lot of things that happened tonight. I can't recall, to be honest with you, or when the last time it happened. It was just chaos all night. So the way it started was definitely not surprising. The way it finished, it kept its intensity from lap 1 to the end. And like I said, it's fortunate to be sitting up here considering all the chaos.
If you watch most of the Kansas races, it's just, this place is just very interesting because of the new asphalt and hard tire, and it catches some of the rookies off guard because when you drive down there on the first lap into the first corner, they have such little downforce compared to what you've had in practice. And I know it just caught Rico off guard, and like I've been telling him, you just kind of have to tiptoe on that first lap, and I know he just probably got a little excited and didn't have the downforce. But if you look at races in the past here, I bet 2 out of the last 4, there's been a caution on the first lap.
Any additional questions for Daniel or Matt? Kenny?
Yeah, I got one for Matt. On the when you guys are out there rolling around under caution and everybody's worried about gas, fuel mileage and stuff, were you close to running out at all before you got to pit road?
Oh yeah. They were. I was waiting for it to run out of gas. I was actually hollering at my spotter to talk to the 98 spotter. So if I did run out, at least he could push me and not go a lap down like the 00 did. He ran out and didn't have anybody to push him back, and he had to wait for a tow truck. And I just kept shutting it off, on and off, and kept loading the box up with fuel as much as I could, so it would take off. And I just sitting there, kept watching the fuel pressure gauge. And it takes a long time when you fire them up, and it's like 0, 2, 3, and you're like, okay, we got a little bit of fuel pressure, we're all right for a minute. But it was nerve-wracking. And then I'm like, I know you can open the damn pits by now. It's just like, and we kept driving around it, like, pit road, please open, please open. And they said,
exciting.
yeah, it's half the field is going to be out of gas here before too long.
Go to Chris in the back.
Chris Knight, CatchFence.com for both of you guys. What's your outlook on going to Dover next week, and how do you guys feel about the truck series gaining some momentum with 3 straight races?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for our team, going back to a racetrack where Brad Keselowski Racing won at last year, and I've been strong every race there in the past, and to be constantly building on my chemistry with my crew chief and my entire crew, and being our our 4th race together now, and we have momentum, and that's for sure, and I know we're getting closer, and all you can do is put yourself in position, and we're doing everything we can. We got to clean up some stuff. We had a couple issues on pit road, not anybody's fault, but just the making of our product, and we just found ourselves in a box, kind of kept losing track position there, but fortunately the guys built a fast truck, and we were able to get back to the front just about every time. So to have that kind of speed, to be able to pass trucks, that's a huge confidence builder in this running this series, and when you can do that, it gives you confidence going to the next one. So looking forward to Dover, and looking forward to being the very next week and not waiting another 3 weeks.
5
weeks.
Yeah, like
there you
last
go.
week. Last 5 weeks.
Anything else for these two?
But no, that's honestly probably my second favorite racetrack, to be totally honest. I mean, it's always a blast to go there. I love it. Love going there, and you actually get the lift. I mean, tonight you could run so many laps wide open.
Glad you could.
Like when you're out in the lead, you could run. Like when I was leading, I probably ran half that run wide open, and it was just like, and I mean, it's great racing for a little while, but I wish you had a little bit less downforce on them, and they would move around a little bit more, to be honest.
All right, well, Daniel and Matt, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on your runs tonight.
Thank you.
All right, we are now joined by the winning team of today's Toyota Tundra 250. The number 9 team, Liberty University Toyota. We're first joined by our driver, William Byron. William, it's quite an accomplishment for you, just your 5th NASCAR Camping World Series truck start. You get your first win. This qualifies you for the chase, and you are also the 9th NASCAR Next alum to win a National Series race. Can you talk a little bit about that experience for us?
It's awesome. I mean, all the way from like the first race in Phoenix, I knew there was a lot to this. There's so many different ebbs and flows of the race, and it's just really important to keep your head in the game, and that was really evident tonight with the way the last 30 laps went, getting the lead, and then on that last restart, falling back to 3rd. You just can't give up. So just really proud of this whole Liberty University team. We had a really fast Toyota Tundra, and KBM is just really giving me a great platform.
Awesome. We are also joined by our winning truck owner, Kyle Busch. Kyle, you've obviously had a lot of success in finding young talent for your trucks. Can you talk a little bit about what it means to have William win so early on in his career?
Yeah, I think this night is precedented for William for sure, and just the limited experience that he does have in the truck series, the limited experience that he has in racing in general. I'm well impressed with the way that he's been able to drive in the different vehicles that he's driven in over the years, and the success that he's had in those races as well too, and being able to move up the ladder as quick as he has. And to be with KBM, we sought William early last year and was talking with him and his dad about putting this deal together, and fortunately it all came together, and we were able to be here tonight and be in this moment. So it's pretty special to have William being able to win this soon in his career in the truck series, and hopefully there's many more to come.
And we are also joined by the winning crew chief, Rudy Fugle. Rudy, can you talk a little bit about what it was like sitting on the box watching William drive to victory?
It was different. The last couple of years I've had some different drivers and more experience in pressure, different situations, expecting to win more and out of the box. And so with a young driver again and learning how to coach him and how to do the right things, and but it was fun to watch too, because he's just got the raw talent and the speed just out of the box that you don't have to teach, and made it all happen. The last caution wasn't very fun for us sitting on the box, and probably not him in the seat either, but we pulled it out, and I think we showed we had a top 2 truck, if not, and at the end I think we had the best truck. It just, the way the restart shook out, and then it all worked out.
All right, we'll now open it up for questions. Please state your name and affiliation when you get the microphone.
Hey, William, Todd Palmer, Kansas City Star. First of all, what high school do you go to? And like, when's your prom, graduation, anything like that?
My graduation's May 27th, and actually an off weekend, so pretty fortunate with that. Get to enjoy that. And my prom was, I was racing that weekend, so I was racing in Nashville. I think it was like April 8th or something. So, it's a good balance between going to school and being a completely normal kid, and people have really no idea like what's going on when we get to the racetrack, and that's the cool part. Is I just like to kind of do my business at school and keep my grades up, and then get to the racetrack and enjoy myself.
We'll stay here in the front.
Country Day in Charlotte.
Sean Roney, Dos Mundos newspaper here in Kansas City. Matt Crafton had said that this asphalt can be difficult for a lot of rookie drivers. In fact, he said he told Rico Abreu that you kind of have to tiptoe around it a little bit. Why do you think a young fellow like yourself did not have too much trouble with it?
Honestly, I think it's just anticipating and not putting yourself in that position to rely on whether it be the tire or the aero. I think you're always going to have a position where you don't feel comfortable, but I still have a lot to learn there. But I think just learning from Kyle and learning from the tapes that I get at KBM, learning not to put myself in those positions.
Any additional questions for winning team? We'll go back there to Chris, and we'll come back up front to Todd.
Chris Knight, KidFence.com. Congratulations, you guys, on the win tonight. I believe you were in a truck that Eric Jones dominated and almost won with last year here at Kansas Speedway. How do you feel about being in the chase, and how do you feel about overall the 1.5 mile performances for the team looking forward, knowing that you guys run so strong here tonight?
Yeah, to have the team that I do with Rudy Fugle and all the guys from last year that had such good success is really a good confidence builder for me. And honestly, when I'm out there on these mile and a halves, I only did a quarter of a race at Atlanta, and now I have a full race under my belt. But it's a lot of fun, and there's times when you can't really do anything, but there's also times when I've just learned to make the most of every little bit. So that's what Kyle preaches to me, and that's what Rudy tells me about. Is just maximizing everything.
Hey, William, Todd Palmer again. Take me through when you basically checked out on the field after that restart with about 30 laps to go or whatever it was. And then when they stacked the field back up, what did Johnny do, and how nervous were you for that green-white checkered? And then at what point did you realize the chaos that was going on coming out of turn 4 and that you were going to get this win?
Honestly, when the restart happened, I saw Christopher pulling me, and I was banging through the gears as much as I could, and I just didn't have the run or the push. And I saw those guys stacking up on the bottom, and I was frustrated, and I was just, I was squeezing everybody as much as I could to get side draft. And, Christopher thankfully did a really good job of hanging on to it, because I was really tight on him and just trying to stay in the groove. And then when we got to the final corner, I wasn't going to give up, and I started to see him go for that move, and I was like, man, I don't know if Sauter's going to be able to save it. So I just tried to plan to miss him, and it just worked out.
We'll go to Jim.
JimMutterMotorsport.com. While you were celebrating, I noticed Kelly Earnhardt tweeted congratulations to you. You've been part of 2 successful organizations early in your career. Can you just talk about what those opportunities have meant for you, and does it seem sort of surreal, the amount of success you've enjoyed in a relatively short amount of time as being a regular race car driver?
Yeah, to be with 2 great race teams in KBM and Junior Motorsports in the past, with just learning from those guys, whether it be L.W. Miller, Dale himself came to a couple races, and or Kelly, just learning how to fit in and how to compose yourself. And then the stuff inside the race car is ultimately up to you. So it's really just out of the race car, learning how they do things and how they go about it. And it's been so cool to drive for people that I used to just be race fans of because, I was 6 or 7 years old. I'm sure a lot of people watch races, but I didn't ever really imagine being in a race car. So it's to be actually, with those guys now is really cool.
Kyle, Todd Palmer, Kansas City Star. It took you 3 races to win a trucks race here, so you a little jealous?
I wouldn't say I'm jealous. This is win number 1, and I think I'm to 160 now. So he's got a long ways ahead of him. But certainly it's fun to watch. It's fun to see these younger guys like Eric Jones, like Bubba Wallace, like William Byron, Christopher Bell, the guys that have been successful in our truck program coming up through the years. So definitely looking forward to many more days like this that I'm able to sit on the sidelines and watch and let them go out there and do all the hard work and yet reap the benefits of it afterwards.
We'll go to Chris and then Lee.
ChrisKnightCatchFence.com. Kyle, while it was a strong night and awesome night for William, Christopher Bell also had a good night, and he needed this after kind of a slow start to the season. Can you talk about how impressed you were with his performance tonight?
Yeah, Christopher had a good race going tonight. I was on the radio with both of them a bunch, but mostly with Chris and just helping him out. He did a really good job tonight, coming through traffic a couple times that he had to, making some bold moves that he made that was really nice to see. He had plenty of confidence. Seemed like he was really comfortable with his truck, and the truck was driving well. He was racing William really hard there for the lead, and those two were actually starting to stretch out because they were drafting just enough that they were stretching the lead out on 3rd place. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, Christopher's truck just got really loose, and it looked like to me he was just hanging on. So, I was proud to see that he had a solid effort. It's a shame we couldn't come home 1-2 like I thought we deserved, but to come home 1 and 4, it's certainly a good night for Christopher with the start of the season that he's had. It's definitely been frustrating. We talked about it a lot earlier this week, he and I, about just sort of getting his mindset right and getting him back focused on what's ahead, and that there's going to be plenty of days where there's opportunities that the shoe's on the other foot. Tonight William was ahead, and we made sure that Christopher was full force in focused about helping his teammate and making sure that the teammate had a shot to win before they both went after it and battled it. And it seemed that the plan was working perfectly. They got a good restart, they got out, they got 1-2, and then it was time for them to battle it out. That's when I was off the radio. I didn't say anything there on out, but certainly good night for both of them.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Champ, your thoughts on the caution clock?
It's early in the season. I think we saw it a couple times tonight. It played in. Certainly there was some tense moments with some fuel and people running out and stuff like that. And I think if it comes down to that, where the caution clock is right on the fuel number, obviously they kept pit road closed because there was guys stalling on the apron. But man, all you're going to do is keep getting the next guy to stall, the next guy to stall, the next guy to stall. So, it was a smart move to just open it up and get the trucks down pit road. I say that because it was fortunate for us that we weren't the ones that did run out. But again, the shoe may be on the other foot later on where it may be us. But all in all, it's an interesting strategy to the series. It's different, that's for sure. I do remember a few years ago when you couldn't take fuel when you could take tires or vice versa, and it was real awkward for coming down and repitting and all that sort of stuff. So this is just a new thing for the series to have to work around and make the crew chief's jobs a little bit more stressful.
Rudy, your thoughts
on it? It's okay. I mean, it's just different. It's between our engineers and myself, we kind of got an idea of what's going to happen before when we go green. Whether we're going to be close or not, and it just affects strategy. I mean, it's interesting. I think it makes for a decent show, so it's okay.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Congratulations on the win, and good luck
Thank you.
tomorrow, Kyle.
Thank you.